Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video I'm in a bit of a different setting, although not if you watched my last vlog. Me, Andrew and Wolf came away for the night and I thought I would film the video here, although the lighting isn't great inside the cabin, as beautiful as it is. But yeah, the lighting's not great, so I thought I'd better film it outside. I hope the sound's okay, I hope the lighting's okay. I've got a blanket because it's really, really cold and my head looks really silly in a hat, but whatever, we'll get past that. And today I'm going to film my 3,000 subscribers Q&A, which I asked for questions for on Instagram. Just wanted to say the biggest thank you to every one of you that has subscribed to me and supported my channel over the last year. 3,000 subscribers is just so amazing and so much more than I ever could have dreamt of in this space of time. Yeah, and I just really appreciate every single one of you. Without further ado, I'm just going to dive in with the questions. I've got them on Instagram on my phone, otherwise we could be here all day. Question 1 from Hannah Luana is, did Wilf have any sleep progression at 4 months? I hear lots of people talking about it and wonder if you had noticed this at all. So far, no. Wilf is 5 months now, and so far I haven't noticed a sleep regression at all. Wilf sleeps really well. If you've watched any of my updates, he'll go like a full night, he sleeps through, we're really lucky. But I haven't noticed a 4-month sleep progression. I'm still waiting for it. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. Ooh, out of the woods, in the woods. I don't think we're out of it yet, just because Wilf was almost a month early, so his corrected age is 3.5 weeks behind. So technically the 4-month sleep progression could still get us. So far no, but I'm not feeling too smug about that just yet. And the other question from Hannah is also a more personal question. No worries if you don't want to answer this, but I wondered, as you had to have fertility treatment to get pregnant with Wilf, are you currently taking any birth control, or would you be happy if you got pregnant soon? Good question. So me and Andrew aren't using birth control. I know some people are like, ah. When I told the doctor at my 6-week checkup that we weren't going to be using contraception, she was a bit like, but then I explained my situation. I think she understood it a bit more. If we got pregnant tomorrow, we would be over the moon. The chances of it happening are slim, as I do have PCOS, but you do hear about it happening when people have had a baby. And if it happened to me and to Andrew, we would be over the moon. To not have to try to get pregnant would be my dream, because anyone that has tried to get pregnant, whether it's taken you 3 months or 3 years or even longer, it is super stressful. I think it puts a real emotional strain on a relationship, and to not have to go through that next time would be amazing. Me and Andrew do definitely want another baby. I know I've said in previous videos before having Wilf that maybe we would just have one, but since Wilf's been here, I just feel like this is like what I was meant to do. I know that sounds really cheesy, but I just feel like I just love being a mum so much, and I would absolutely love to have at least one more baby. Who knows what might happen in the future, but I would love to have at least one more. So we're not using birth control. We're not trying either, so we're like not trying, not preventing. But if it happened tomorrow, I would be over the moon, really happy. I would love to have another baby. Next question is from, where are we? Life with Sharp, and she says, what are some of your favourite high street shops to buy your clothes from? Congrats on 3,000. Thank you very much. So I buy 90% of my clothes from ASOS. I am really boring with my clothes. I pretty much always wear the same thing. When I was younger, I think I've said this in previous videos, when I was younger I used to work in retail, in fashion retail, and you kind of had to make an effort with what you wore. It was like part of the job, and I used to love fashion. I was so into fashion. I used to love picking out clothes. But since leaving uni, that was like nearly 10 years ago now, my fashion sense has just gone, I'm just like not, I love fashion still, but I just feel really like I just want to be comfortable more than anything. I know that sounds really boring, but like comfort is key. So I buy 90% of my wardrobe from ASOS. I can never be bothered to try anything on, but I just buy like baggy tent jumpers. That is my wardrobe. Baggy tent jumpers, baggy tent dresses. Like, I really don't dress for my shape. I just chuck on whatever is comfy. And I really do like that like slouchy oversized look. That's what I go for. So ASOS is like the first place I will go. I hate trying stuff on, and now I've got Wilf and I like taking him into town. It's even more stressful. I said this video is going to be quick, but this is going to be rambly. But I do love ASOS. I also really like H&M. This jumper was from H&M, and I just think they do like really good casual, like oversized slouchy knitwear. I also love Next. I've got quite a few nice things from Next actually. Back in the day I would have been like, Next is for grandmas, but I love it because I am a grandma. And yeah, I used to be obsessed with Topshop. My whole wardrobe would be from Topshop, but I just go in there now and I'm like, what are the kids wearing these days? Like, can't they just wear something comfy? Everything's so short and cropped and sparkly, and no, it's not really for me anymore. I still get my jeans from Topshop, and I've got like the occasional jumper from there, but I'm not really into Topshop anymore. And somewhere I do love but just can't wear stuff from is Zara. I absolutely love Zara. People get the most beautiful things from there, but it just never fits me. Does anyone else have that problem with like any shop? But anything from Zara just never fits me properly. It's not made for my body shape. I'm very like pear shaped, so I'm much smaller on the top and much bigger on the bottom. I've got big juicy thighs, and it's just not made for my figure at all. Zara stuff, as much as I would love it to, because I think it's beautiful, just doesn't suit me really, sadly. So that is my very long and rambly answer to that question. Jack's Life says, congrats on reaching that milestone. Thank you very much. My question is, do you have days where you can't be bothered with vlogging? How do you deal with that? I do. I think everyone that vlogs probably has days like that, and if I don't feel like vlogging, 9 times out of 10 I just won't vlog. There were loads of times I did Vlogmas this year. If you didn't know, I will link the playlist below, but there was loads of times during Vlogmas I was like, I really can't be bothered today, but I just didn't want to ruin it. I'd set out to do it and I did it, and looking back I'm really, really proud of myself, and that's Will's first Christmas and I cannot wait to have those memories to look back on. But ooh, windy and cold. But yeah, on a like normal time when I'm not doing like everyday vlogging, if I don't feel like vlogging, I just won't vlog, because I think people watching your videos can tell if your heart's not in it. So yeah, if I'm not into it, I just won't do it that day. Sincerely Amy, who is like my internet babe, says, so very proud of you. My question is, if Andrew, Wilf and yourself could go on a once in a lifetime holiday, where would it be and why? That is such a good question. I actually asked Andrew this when you sent it through, Amy, and he said Disney World, which hopefully, spoiler alert, we are going to be doing in a few years time for our 30th. So like me, Andrew, Lauren, Mike, Katie, Jake, within the space of like 6 months, me, Andrew, Mike and Lauren will all turn 30, so we thought we would do like a big holiday to mark that, and we're thinking Disney World with all of the babies who will not be babies anymore. So that is Andrew's like dream holiday, which hopefully we'll be doing. My dream holiday is more of a, I love being like here, like in a cabin in the woods. This is like my favourite thing to do. I love UK holidays. I'm not good in sun at all. I don't tan, which is just depressing. I just burn, and I'm really just not good in heat. So I love like cold holidays. So I would love to do this like log cabin type situation, but in somewhere snowy. So like a ski holiday is like my dream, minus the skiing, because I'm not really an adrenaline junkie. So minus the skiing, a ski holiday is my dream. Like log cabin, wrapped up warm, cheese fondue, mulled wine, a hot tub, like that is my dream. But also, me and my mum have always said we would love to go to Alaska. I don't know if anyone else ever watched a programme called Men in Trees, but me and my mum used to love it, and that was set in Alaska, and ever since then me and my mum have always said we would love to go to Alaska. So like anywhere like that, Alaska, like Canada mountains, anything like that with a wooden lodge is my dream. And I would love to do that with Andrew and Wilf. Alex Zarelli says, is there anything you've struggled with being a mummy? And then in brackets she's put, Wilf looks like a very chilled babe, so I won't be surprised if you say there's nothing. That is so nice, thank you, Alex. The biggest thing we have struggled with, or I have struggled with, is feeding. It actually still gets me quite like emotional now. Don't worry, I won't cry on you, but like I find it really hard to talk about. I don't know why, but I just find it really, really difficult. Those of you that don't know, that haven't watched my like Wilf update since he's been born, he was in neonatal. We stayed in hospital for about a week, and during that time he had quite severe jaundice, and I wasn't allowed to take him out from under the lights to feed him, so he had to have bottles, and I had no milk at that point, so he was having to have formula. My milk eventually came in at about over a week after having him, and I hadn't even had any colostrum or anything. There was nothing, and my milk came in, but I had literally nothing. Wilf wouldn't latch because he'd already been having a bottle for a week. He just wasn't interested. My body was producing no milk apart from that day it came in when they were like a little bit engorged, like they were big and they started to leak a little bit. After that they never ever leaked once. I cannot tell you, like they just didn't leak. I never had to use breast pads. I just had no milk, and I tried for 6 weeks to express, and it was painful and it was hard, and I would get like it'd take me a day to get enough for one feed, and it was making me miserable, and I was having to give Wilf formula anyway to like subsidise the milk I didn't have, and it was just really like ruining my whole experience of being a new mum. So one day I just woke up and I just said, I'm not doing this anymore. It's making me miserable. And he's just been on formula ever since, which before he was born wouldn't have bothered me in the slightest. I've always said fed is best. I don't care how you choose to feed your child as long as they are fed, but it's pressure from everyone else that makes you feel shit about giving formula, and it really, really makes me angry and upset, because I think, why does it matter? Everyone knows breast is best. Everyone knows scientifically breast is best, and when you can't give your child that, it is really upsetting to have someone shove down your throat all the time that breast is best. Not, and when I say someone, I don't mean any one person, but like society as a whole just tells you that you should give your child breast milk, and if you can't, then you're a bad mum and blah blah blah, and it makes you feel as a new mum like absolute shit. I just don't like it. Like, Wilf is on formula, he is reaching all of his milestones, he's a very chubby baby, like he is a perfectly happy little boy, and I don't think formula has done him any harm, and it just upsets me. I know it's a whole debate, so if you have strong opinions on this, please don't get into a thing in the comments, because it makes me feel sad every day that I couldn't give him breast milk, and I don't know why, because I'm fine giving him formula, it doesn't bother me, but it's just makes me feel like a bad mum in some way. It's just that mum guilt thing everyone talks about that I never understood, but it is like serious mum guilt. But yeah, that is what I've struggled with most, and I still struggle with to this day. And I think if you feed your child formula, if you feed your child breast milk, if your child has a feeding tube, it really doesn't matter as long as they are being fed. So yeah, the whole formula feeding, just feeding in general, I have found really difficult, and I still find it difficult now. So that was a whole rant about that, but that is definitely what I've found hard since having Wilf. Thorn M5 says, oh, congratulations, lovely, thank you very much. My question is, what do you and Andrew do for work, and what are your plans for returning to work after maternity with Wilf, if at all? So I have covered this in a previous Q&A in more detail, so I'll link it down below. But essentially, I worked in fashion retail, and then I did a big career move and I went to work for the NSPCC, which, if you're not in the UK, is a child protection charity. And I worked there for about 3 years before having Wilf, and in the last year I was working there I had 3 miscarriages, and then found out my mum had cancer, incurable cancer, so we didn't know how much time we had, and I had a bit of a meltdown. This is a whole long story, I will link it below as I've said, but in the end I left my job, and then 2 months later found out I was pregnant with Wilf, which is typical, but I also do think I was so stressed that if I hadn't have left my job, I'm not sure we would have got pregnant with Wilf. I think my body was just under too much strain, And I know I'm very lucky that Andrew earns enough that I don't need to work at the moment. I know not everyone is in that position, so I am very, very thankful every day that I can stay at home and spend time with my mum and spend time with Wilf. So the long story short is that I'm not on maternity leave. I left my job just before I found out I was pregnant, and there are no plans to return to work as of yet. We would like another baby, as I've said. I'm not sure on the timescales for that when you have PCOS or fertility, or even if you don't have fertility issues anyway. It can just take a long time sometimes. This is so rambly. But I'm not going to return to work until we have done having children, basically, and then I will look at jobs and things then. Childcare and stuff is so expensive anyway that I think we're just better off me just being at home looking after Wilf, and that is what we're going to do for now. So the next question is Many Lime, how would you describe Wilf's personality so far? Is it more like yours or more like Andrew's? Well, that is such a good question. Wilf has really started to like develop his own little personality. I'd say like 3 months onwards I really saw it starting to come through. What is his personality like? He's very cheeky, but he's very happy. But when he has a diva strop, he has a diva strop. So I think he gets that part from me. I'm quite like a chilled out person on the whole, but like I do have my diva moments, I won't lie. Whereas Andrew, as a baby, apparently was the most chilled baby in the world and literally like never had tantrums or anything. So I think like Wilf's like happy little character is definitely more Andrew, and his like little feisty side is more from me, I would say. Our Enchanted Wood, who is my cousin Abby, if you don't know, says, what's Lily Pad and Bow's best feature? Lily Pad and Bow is Abby's channel, which I will link below. And if I'm being honest, I would say your hauls are my favourite, Abby. I don't know if I was actually meant to answer that question, but I'm answering it. And then she said, but on a real, let's go with, if you could sum up your life so far in one sentence, what would it be? Ooh. That's a good one. I'm sure everyone would probably say the same, but I would say an emotional roller coaster, because it has been filled with extreme highs and extreme lows, and then just the normal like sailing along of normal life. So I would say an emotional roller coaster. And the most important question, are you ever going to film any more of Becca's diaries? I loved these videos. I loved filming reading my teenage diaries. I'll link them below, and there was like a little cult following of people that really liked them, but they just hardly got any views. Let me know in the comments, did you watch my diary videos? And would you like to see more? I do have more. I did write a lot of diaries. Would you be interested? I really liked them, but they just didn't seem to go down very well. So let me know in the comments what you think, but there could be a return of Becca's diaries if it is wanted. And then Amy, Sincerely Amy, has also put, yes, bring back Becca's diaries. So the people are speaking. Rachel2502 has said, how come you decided to do Wilf's nursery after he was born? This is a good question. I've actually been asked this a few times. I have explained it in a video before, but it was probably like in the depths of a random vlog or something. So we decided to wait to do Wilf's nursery because, as you all know, if you've watched this channel a while, it took us a long time to conceive Wilf, and we had 3 miscarriages in that time, and I was just so scared the entire pregnancy, like literally petrified that something was going to go wrong. I had a lot of reduced movements as well, so I felt very, very on edge all the time. I was in and out of maternity assessment all the time for monitoring to see how Wilf's movements were, because they were just all over the place, and I just wouldn't have enjoyed it. That's the only reason we waited, is that me and Andrew had dreamt for years of doing this beautiful nursery for our baby, and we just wouldn't have enjoyed it because there was all that doubt of, will this actually happen? Will baby get here? We're very, very aware that things can go wrong at any stage. You don't get past 12 weeks and you're safe. Like, we know people in our lives who've gone through absolutely horrendous things, and we just wouldn't have enjoyed it. There just would have been that doubt there. Whereas when Wilf was here and we knew he was safe, as safe as you can be in this world, but when we knew he was safe, we really enjoyed it, and we did the nursery specifically for him, and we knew a little bit about his personality, and we could kind of tailor it a bit to him. And yeah, I'm really, really, really glad we waited. And I think if we had another baby, I would wait again, even though I'm hoping I would feel a little bit less anxious in pregnancy next time. You don't know, but I feel a lot more relaxed now Will's here, and I'm hoping that would give me like a little bit more relaxation time if I was to get pregnant again. But yeah, that is why we waited, just because we wanted to enjoy it, and we were too stressed out with pregnancy to have been able to really enjoy it. Charlotte Samoyed, I don't know how to say that. It's a type of dog, isn't it? Samoyed? Samoyed? I don't know how you say it, I'm so sorry. Hello, I have a 3-month-old baby girl, Winter, love her name, and just wondering what your top toys are for a 3/4-month-old. Thanks. So Wilf has only really got into playing with toys in the past month or so. So yeah, I'd say about 4 months onwards, he's started to show an interest. And I would say his best toys have been, I'd say his Blossom and Bear teething toys, because he can play with them. They're like little kind of beaded ones. He can play with them and he can chew on them, so they're really good. I would definitely recommend them. I will link anything I mentioned down below. He also has a play gym that we got from Moki, which he loves, and it's got like monochrome things hanging on it. That's very technical, like monochrome toys hanging on it, and he really loves that. He will sit and play with that for a good while. And then we also hang on some of the how do you say it? Someone corrected me last time I said it wrong. Lamars toys. We hang them on there as well. They're like crinkly ones. So they're definitely what we have found the best toys for Wilf. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. He's just getting into like the age where a jumperoo is something we're considering. His parents have one at their house that someone gave them, and I think we will get one for our house too. Hello.
Hey.
Creeping back in. Did you have a nice walk? Can't remember what I was saying. Bye. Yeah, so I'd say they're probably the main things. A play gym if you haven't got one already, and some like teething toys that double up as like toy things they can play with and also chew on. Mrs. Fallon Dorset says, congratulations, well done. Thank you very much. My questions are, with the knowledge you have now and being a mummy to a rainbow baby, what 3 things or piece of advice would you tell yourself back at your lowest times of TTC? That is such a good question. I wish I'd like thought of some answers for this in advance. I think it's a bit cheesy, but I'd just tell myself like that you are strong enough to get through this, because there were so many times I thought I can't do this, and you are strong enough, and you just find the strength and make it happen. What else would I tell myself? Clomid is a miracle pill. I don't know, I think I would just keep reminding myself that it will happen, even if it hadn't have happened naturally. We always would have been open to going down other routes, we would have been open to adoption, we still are possibly in the future. So that's definitely, like, it's annoying, but you tell yourself, it's annoying to say now, because it used to annoy me when people said to me like, oh, it will happen, you will be a mum, and I was thinking like, you don't know that, but if you're open to different routes, as I was and still am, I think it will happen. It takes time, and it's annoying, and it takes some people no time at all, it just happens. It takes some people quite a long time, like it did for me, and it takes people so much longer than it takes me. But if you're open to other routes, it will happen. That's such a rubbish answer, but it's so easy to say in hindsight, like, just relax and it'll happen. And I used to hate it when people said that, and yeah, I don't know, sorry, that is such a rubbish answer. And what colour shade of brown do you currently have on your hair when the light catches it? It's so gorgeous. Oh, thank you. I use Garnier Olia in, I think it's 415 iced chocolate, I believe. Land of Lawson, which is Hayley. If you haven't seen her channel, I will link it below. I am obsessed with her channel. Says, well done, lovely. My question for you is, if you could give one piece of advice to new mums, what would it be? Again, this is so cheesy and people say it all the time, and before I had Wilf I would have been like, oh, whatever. But I would say trust your gut. I always heard people say that, and I thought, because I was so stressy and anxious in pregnancy, I always thought like I wouldn't have a clue. But actually, trust your gut. It shocked myself how many times I've known things maybe aren't right, like with Wilf's jaundice. People were telling me, oh, he looks all right, I'm sure he's fine, I'm sure he doesn't need to go back in, and I took him back in and his levels were through the roof. Like, trust your gut. If you feel like something's not right, it's probably not right. And if you feel like other people are telling you something but you feel like your way is right for your child, just trust yourself. You're that baby's mum, you know better than anybody else, and just trust your gut, because I think if you trust your gut you really can't go far wrong. Mummy Baby Blog, who is Rebecca, I will link her channel below as well, says congrats on 3k. How long did you take off work for maternity leave? Will you be going back, or will you be a stay-at-home mum to little Wilf? So I answered that previously. I'm not on maternity leave, and I will be a stay-at-home mum to Wilf until we have finished having children, I think. And my last question is from Bex Massey UK, again another YouTuber whose channel I love. I will link Bex's channel below. My question is, when and how did you come out as a vlogger? When and how did you come out of the vlogger closet to friends and family? I've not done so yet, but Insta's now recommending me on here to them. Oh, that's so awkward. Don't want to look like a dick. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I have always been obsessed with YouTube. Like, I have watched YouTube for like 10 plus years maybe. Everyone, all my friends and family have always known I've been obsessed with YouTube. I watch YouTube more than I watch TV, and I had my friends telling me for so long, oh, you should give YouTube a go, and I was like, no, I can't do it, I'm too awkward. And then actually Abby, Lily Pad and Bo, my cousin, and Lauren, Mother Trooper, who is my best friend, both started YouTube, and I wouldn't have started it. I don't think I wouldn't have had the nerve to do it if they hadn't have started YouTube. And I just thought, oh, do you know what, I'll give it a go. Like, I've always loved it. They were doing it, they were absolutely amazing at it, and I just thought, why can't I do it too? I love YouTube. And yeah, if it wasn't for them, I genuinely don't think I would have started this channel. They gave me the confidence to do it, so in that sense they kind of already knew. And I've just always been very open about it. I do get scared that people are going to judge me, but then at the same time I kind of think I don't care at the same time. Like, I wouldn't ever judge someone for doing something unless it was something awful. Like, you do you. Be proud of yourself. Like, and Beck specifically, your channel is really good. I really love your channel. You have nothing to be like worried about with people finding it, and if people judge you, it says more about them than it does about you. That's what I always think. If people are sat at home sniggering at my channel, then I think that says more about them than it does about me. Yeah, so it's not easy, it is a bit awkward, and there have been times where people I maybe wouldn't have expected to watch my channel have told me they've watched my channel, and it's caught me off guard a little bit, and it's a bit like, oh, and I do get a bit embarrassed sometimes, but at the same time, like, I'm proud of myself. I think I get messages from women all the time, like, not in a big-headed way, but I get messages quite a lot from women saying that my channel's helped them, that they're going to be starting Clomid, that they're struggling with infertility, that they've had recurrent miscarriages, and to know that I have helped those women far outweighs the few people that might think that this is a bit silly and who maybe don't understand the YouTube and blogging world. I think the messages you get from the people who love your videos and take things from your videos and find them helpful and find them comforting far outweighs the silly people who think it's something to laugh at or snigger at. And your friends and family love you, so they will not do that. They will be so supportive of your channel, and yeah, go for it. Tell them. You tell them before they stumble across you and it's a little bit awkward. That is what I would do. And that is all of the questions. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'm going to go and get inside now because I'm freezing, and I will see you all in my next video in a much, hopefully, warmer setting. Bye guys!